Addictions are everywhere, and I mean everywhere. Everyone you know could be possibly addicted to something, whether it's the phone, social media, gaming, porn, weed, nicotine, and in most cases, drinking, given the name being an alcoholic. And the thing is, most people don't realize they're addicted. They think they just really like it, or helps them relax, or whatever excuse they tell themselves. But realistically, if you can't go a single day without it, if your mood depends on it, if you get defensive when someone calls you out on it, you're addicted. And I'm not saying this to shame anyone, I'm saying it because you know addiction doesn't have to be forever. People think once you're hooked on something, that's it, and you're done. Because in a lot of cases too, people become an alcoholic and they don't stop, and they never do stop. And they die an alcoholic. They die being known as the alcoholic, whether that's with family or to their old friends. And I have my fair share, with my family. A lot of people in my family are alcoholics. A lot of them. Addiction can get weaker over time because right now it has the strongest hold on you. And that's the strongest it'll ever be if you start dealing with it today. With addiction, your brain literally gets rewired. Every time you do whatever it is, your brain releases dopamine and it creates these pathways. And the more you do it, the stronger those pathways get. Your brain starts thinking it needs this thing to function. And in most cases, when you're an alcoholic, you do need those things to get you going. And when it gets to that point, it's a very sad thing to watch from the perspective as someone outside of it. Now, think about it when you're someone dealing with it, and they don't even know that that's the problem. And when this thing has been going on for so long, and when you try to actually quit, you feel like absolute garbage. Your brain is just screaming at you to go back to it. And as much as you really think you need it, the longer you go without it, those pathways, they weaken and you stop using them. You know when you don't play something for like months and you come back and you're trash at it? Kind of the same thing. Your brain forgets. It just takes time, but it forgets. And when you really want to try it, the first day is going to be the worst day of your life. Even worse when you were on whatever you were on or doing whatever you were doing. Not to mention, that's just the first day. And for someone that, doesn't really have an addiction of anything, after, a month, they would think, oh, they're doing pretty good. That's a pretty long time. I think they're finally, off. I think they're finally good. When in most cases, that's when relapse happens. And when you're going without whatever it is, you're going to feel like you're dying. You might not sleep. You'll be bored out of your mind. Everything's gonna feel kind of pointless and gray. You might shake a lot. That's just literally your brain throwing a tantrum because you took away its favorite toy. But again, after some time, it gets easier. A little bit. Not easy, but easier. If there's ever a time where you can get to a point where you don't think about it an entire day, that's amazing. That's awesome. It's great. Sadly though, a lot of people, even going months without it, think about it every day, and that's their challenge every day. And if you couldn't notice, this is based off of Popular MMO's Pat, whatever you want him to go by. He is the perfect example of wanting to recover from being an alcoholic. I was up at about 1 a.m. because I have a horrible sleeping problem, and I was scrolling through YouTube just to see what to watch, and the little community tab popped up, and it was Popular MMO's, and it was about 30 minutes ago. I was like, wow, that's really early. And it is, it's what I'm showing on the screen at the moment, and it really made me think. He's showing the worst parts of trying to recover from being an alcoholic. People say they're recovering, and by the end, they'll say, recovered, this and that, and it's great. But they never show what really happens during the process. They don't give updates, they don't show videos, they don't show their worst moments on camera. And that's one of the biggest things, Pat has shown and has done. He's someone that I have watched since I was in 3rd grade. I would sneak to get my mom's phone, because she'd be busy. I'd watch him for hours, literally hours, until the phone gets taken back, until it gets stolen away from me. And now I'm an adult. I've been around people that have horrible addictions to alcohol, from people as close to my dad, to cousins, to friends, and everywhere in between. It's something I wouldn't wish on anybody because it's a slow killer. That's what I'd really call it. And I kind of want to make this video because people think, trying to recover from something or trying to get off of something, whatever it is, it could be anything. There are many addictions. It's not that easy. And if you haven't, and I encourage you to watch one of his videos that explains everything pretty good, basically stating that no one really knows what to tell you. You never really have that backup. People are very easy to say, if you know it's bad for you, why do you do it? Just stop. And that doesn't help. It really doesn't. And you don't even have to be addicted to anything. If you're just doing something and someone tells you that, you're gonna feel upset too. And for most people, getting that drink might make you a little happier. And when relapse happens, it doesn't mean you failed. Most people relapse multiple times. But each time you try to quit, even if you relapse, you're just weakening the addiction. You're trying to prove to yourself that you can go without it. Even if it's just for a day or a week, it's still progress. If you relapsed after being clean for a month, you're not back to square one. You still went a whole month. Your brain still started healing, and you still proved you can do it. You just gotta get back on it immediately. Like, not tomorrow, not Monday, not the next day, not fucking New Year's. I really hate New Year's resolutions. They're stupid. And in his situation, going 5 to near 6 months, that's pretty crazy. That's really good. And it's insane when you were an alcoholic on his level. Like, it's pretty bad. Most people, they wouldn't even try at all. They wouldn't even come close to trying. Some people even just do worse themselves, do harm to themselves, because they know they just can't do anything about it. The biggest thing is replacing the addiction with something else. Because here's the reality. Most times you're not addicted to the thing itself, you're addicted to how it makes you feel. You're addicted to the escape, the numbness, the dopamine hit, like I said earlier. So you need to find other ways to get those feelings that don't destroy your life. The most common, and I'd say easiest, is working out. And I think that's honestly the best replacement. I know that sounds basic, but when you exercise, your brain releases the same, feel-good chemicals. And you'd be actually building something instead of destroying yourself. And you gotta figure out what you're trying to numb and what you're, running away from. Because until you deal with that, you're just gonna be jumping from one addiction to another. Maybe you quit gaming, but then you're on your phone 12 hours a day. Maybe you quit porn, but now you're smoking. You gotta address the actual problem. But if you know it's something that you just can't work on your own, you can get help via rehab/therapy, or just find other type of support groups of people in that same nature. And most people might see it as cringe or whatever, why would I go to a support group for this addiction? People say therapy and rehab are stupid, but most times it is a justified thing to do. I mean, you literally have nothing to lose. And something else, you gotta change your identity. If you keep thinking of yourself as an addict, as someone who needs this thing, you're gonna keep going back to it. You gotta start seeing yourself as someone who doesn't do that anymore. Not, I'm trying to quit, but I don't do that. It sounds stupid, but your brain believes a lot of things that you tell it. The constant weight of knowing you're controlled by something, lying about it, hiding it, wasting time and money on it, all that goes away. You get your freedom back, get to choose how you spend your time instead of your addiction choosing for you. And you probably already know all this. You know you need to quit, you know what's ruining your life, probably just scared of who you'll be without it, or if you can even do it. But again, addiction isn't forever. It feels like it is when you're in it, but it's not. It's temporary. The pain of quitting is temporary. Cravings are temporary, but if you don't quit, the regret is permanent. You'll look back in 5 to 10 years and wish you started today. And whatever your case may be, do whatever you gotta do. Accept that it's gonna suck for a while, but also know that it gets better. Addiction loses its power over time, but only if you stop feeding it. Anyway, that's all I wanted to really talk about. If you're dealing with this, you're not alone. That's kinda it. See ya.